Hi everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel Online Study for You, one step solution for all your placement needs. I hope you all are extremely well. So as now TCS has started setting selection mail or basically shortlisting mail for the interview for most of the candidates. Those who haven't received any mail till now, guys, you have to keep patience, you have to wait. Soon you'll be getting the mail. Without receiving any sort of mail, whether it's for selection or rejection, we cannot, or even you cannot as such predict that whether you are selected or rejected. Whatever your result will be, it will be definitely mailed by the TCS itself, right? So because what happened in the previous time also, that some students got the selection mail even after 15 days when it was declared for most of the students. So don't worry, anything can happen. Just have patience, guys, right? So in this video, what we are going to do is, as mainly Python is the language that most of the students do prefer, it is sort of easy, right? So that's why what we're going to do is, in this video we are going to discuss about the most important interview questions that you can expect in your interview. So this video is definitely going to be very helpful for you, so do watch the complete video, right? But before this, here is something important that you have to do, so let's have a look. Well, as you can see, this is our YouTube channel, Online Study for You. So you all have to subscribe this channel because it is going to be very helpful for you for your placement preparation. For subscribing, you have to simply click on this red button, subscribe. Now, along with that, you'll be getting this bell icon as well. It's very, very important to press this bell icon as well, so that you are not missing any important update, whether it's job opportunity, any hiring update, or anything from our channel. So whenever we'll be uploading any video, you will get the notification of the same. So it's a must to click on this bell icon as well. I hope that you must have completed this step. So without any delay, let's move further in our video. Well, now this is the agenda of this video to discuss the most expected Python interview questions for TCS. So without any delay, let's have our first question. Right. So the first and the most basic question that you can expect in your interview is that what is Python? It's a very basic question, and most probably if you are mentioning that you are good at Python programming language, then it's just a normal question interviewer can ask you. So it's not just that you are memorizing the thing. Just for give you a sort of idea, I have mentioned this answer. You can go with any answer according to your comfort, and obviously if you are clear about the concepts, sort of you're having the proper knowledge, so I don't think that any kind of rectification is needed basically. So let's understand. So Python is basically a high level interpreted general purpose programming language. Now, what is high level programming language? Do let me know in the comment section. Interpreted, basically it uses interpreter, that's why we are calling it as interpreter. General purpose, so it's not just specific to a particular work or or specification, right? You can use Python in different fields. That's why it is general purpose programming language. Also, it has been mentioned that it can be used to almost build almost any type of application with tools or libraries that is basically provided in the Python. It also supports objects, modules, threads, exception handling, which help in modeling real world problem. So this is a sort of quick introduction of Python. Now it's not important that you are mentioning all these things. According to your comfort, give a crisp and concise answer with full of confidence to the interviewer. Now, next question that you can expect from the interviewer is that what are the benefits of using Python, right? Why you are preferring Python? So you have to provide in this particular question some valid points that why one should go with Python. What are the need, what are the advantages? So the first and the most important thing, as if I mentioned in the first question itself, that it is what it is, general purpose programming language. It means it is not specific for a particular application. You can use this in machine learning, web application, a desktop application, right? So many uses of Python are there. That's why it is a general purpose programming language. Also, it is very easy. You can learn when you are going to compare Python with other programming languages, so you will find that it is sort of easy, and it is obviously going to make the things easy for you, right? It is going to provide sort of ease. So it is simple. The syntax is also pretty simple. It is dynamically typed. It means you don't have to manually provide the data type of the variable or anything or any object that you are using in your program. Okay, so it has easy to learn syntax, which basically emphasizes readability. So if your syntax is sort of easy, anyone can understand, so definitely it will emphasize what? Readability, and hence it will be reducing the cost of program maintenance. Now let me explain the same with the help of an example. For example, if you want to write hello world, sorry, let me, yeah, so in Python you don't have to do nothing, just use a print function and hello world, right? Whether, like, where is in other programming languages like a C, first of all you have to include the header files, you have to write the main function, you have to use the curly brackets, then you'll be able to write printf hello world. Similarly, in case of C++ as well, you have to include the header files, then the main function and curly brackets opening, and then you'll be writing C out hello world. So in other programming languages, for just writing a hello world you have to write 5 to 6 lines of code, whereas in Python it's just one statement that you have to write and your hello world statement is done. So what do you think? It's that easy. So you can explain with the help of these examples itself, right? So here what I'm trying to give you is that you don't have to be very theoretical. Even that is what I follow in the interview as well. So it's not like because I generally don't believe too much in memorizing, I believe in understanding. So I understood the concept, now I can explain this in my own words. It's not I have to mimic some sort of theory that I've learned from somewhere. For the reference purpose you can learn, but you can give these sort of examples as well, that why Python, right? So hope that is clear. Now this is very asked question, like in the interviews that I have attended personally. So in all these interviews I have got this question, difference between list and tuple, difference between list and tuple, too many times. So I think that it is a must to do. Well, the most basic difference, as if you are going through this video, so I'm expecting that you already must be aware of the Python. So list, for list we use curly brackets, for tuple we use parentheses, or these round brackets, whatever you call it as, right? Now next is list can be modified, list can be edited, right? So it, or we can say it is mutable, that is also we call it as mutable, right? Whereas talking about the tuple, so tuple is immutable. It means you cannot do any sort of modification. Modification in the sense adding of the data, removal of the data, updation of the data, updation of the data items that are present in your list data structure. That is allowed in case of list, but not allowed in case of tuple, right? So lists are slower than tuples. Why slower? Because that the reason is that is they are modifiable, they are editable, so that's why they are sort of slower than tuples. And then reversing is that tuples are faster than list. Again, you can mention one more thing here, that tuples are hashable. Tuples are hashable, whereas lists are what? Lists are unhashable. Fine. Tuples are hashable and lists are unhashable. So you can provide this syntax as well, so that it, see, if you are using example, so it will basically interpret, like the interviewer will be able to interpret that yes, you are having the idea, that's why you are giving examples also along with your explanation. So give sort of examples as well. If you're sharing your screen, so you can write on the notepad itself. In one of my interview I did the same, whatever interview was saying I was explaining theoretically and practically as well, right? So it will add on something in your interview itself, right? It will put an impression basically on the interviewer. So that is what you can do. Again, there's another question. What is the difference between del, remove, and pop? Well, when you will come to the functionality, so these all functions, they all are del, remove, and pop. They all are doing the same sort of work. These all keywords basically doing the same sort of work, right? But again, there is some sort of dissimilarity. You cannot say that they all are same in terms of functionality. So let's understand. So del keyword, if you are using, so it will be able to delete any specific data item or any specific variable, or even list of values from a list. For example, I am having a list like this: a, 1, 2, 3. So if I am saying del a of 0. It means the element is stored at the 0th index, which is nothing but 1. So that will be deleted. If I'm writing del A, so this whole list A, that will be deleted, right? Let's talk about other given things as well. Remove function. So remove function, what it will do, it will remove the first matching value from the list. For example, you are having a list A equal to 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. Then you are saying remove 2. So first matching value, it's clearly specified here as well that the remove method will remove the first matching value. This 2, the first occurrence of 2 is this one, so that will be removed, and now your updated or modified list will be what? 1, 2, 3, 3, right? Next, pop method. So pop method is also like delete itself, like that is do what, that is used to delete at a particular index, but pop method returns deleted value. Whatever you have deleted, it is going to return that from the list. So for example, this is the list we are having, so we can do something like a dot pop 0, 1, 2. Okay, let's take this one list, 0, 1, 2, 3. So element at the third index will be basically removed. If you want, you can remove, you can store this value to this variable rem, because pop does what, it basically returns the deleted value also. So you can store this deleted value to some variable also. So that was the difference among the three. Hope that is clear for you. And again, if you will explain with the help of an examples, then that would be great for you. And obviously you don't have to put too much theory, so it will help you out. Right. Next, let me tell you what you can do is be clear with the data structures, the important one in Python, that is list, tuple, set, dictionary. Okay, if I'm missing anyone, I guess I haven't written all of them. If anyone is missing, that's okay. You can consider this by yourself. So one question I got in the interview was that, not in the TCS, but in some other company interview, that what are the different ways to initialize a dictionary, or basically to declare a dictionary. So the one method is that t equal to like this. Also, don't be confused. You know that in set also we do what? Like this, 1, 2, 3. So these curly brackets has been used in dictionary also, but if you are writing like this, d equal to empty curly bracket, so it doesn't mean set, it means what? Dictionary. This is a tricky question and important ones also, because it shows that you're clear with the concept. This is dictionary. Now why you must be wondering now that curly brackets are for dictionary even and for set even, then why if we are writing like this, d equal to empty curly bracket, so it shows dictionary? Because most of the time you will be having the use of dictionary, mainly like set will be very less used, so that's why this specifies that this curly bracket specifies a dictionary. Now if you want to declare a set, then for this you have to use this set method. Okay, so this is how we can take a dictionary. Then we have dict function as well. If you are already aware of the values, that is key value pair, basically you know that what is dictionary, it is a key value pair combination. So if you're already aware of the key value pair, then you can write 4, 2, 3, 8 like this. Okay, then so what I was telling here is you should be clear about all these important data structure, the functions that has been used here for the addition of the data item, for the removal of the data item, what is the difference between these functions, because most probably you will be getting the questions on the function itself, that okay, what is the difference and all these things. Slicing is also very important topic. Slicing, that how we do slicing in case of Python. Slicing, basically you must be aware to select a chunk of data from a given data. You are selecting a small subset or a chunk of data from a given data. That is what we call it as slicing. Negative index is also a very important concept. You know that negative indexing is only provided in Python only. It is not present in any other programming language. So negative indexing related question they can ask you. Again, on the basis of the functions that are present in this data structure, they can ask you some task to do. This is what they asked me in my TCS interview. On the basis of the functions, I was asked to do some sort of task, right? So if you're clear about the functions that we do use in this data structure, yeah, string I forgot to mention. So string is also important, right? Although string is what? A string is what? Immutable in Python. You must be aware of that. A string is immutable. Like a tuple, a string is also immutable. That is, we cannot add it or modify it. Fine. Slicing is important. Other thing is, oops, concepts are very important in Python as well. They can ask you about init function. Init function that we do have in Python, it's also what? It is a kind of constructor itself. Just the difference is that in other programming languages, the constructor name is similar to that of the class name, but here that is not the case. So init was constructor itself, right, which is used to basically initialize the variables. So these sort of basic questions you can expect. Now you want to further revise the question. See, this video was just to give you sort of idea about the sort of questions, and mostly asked questions was there. So what you can do is you can simply Google top 50 or top 100 Python, top 50 or top 100, like it depends on your capacity, that 50 you can digest or 100. So top 100 Python interview questions, and just learn them all, go through all of them. Most probably, I guess 99% in your interview you'll be getting the questions from these questions only, these top 100 or top 50 Python interview questions only, right? So yeah, I hope that you have found this video useful, and in case of any doubt or any query, feel free to drop the comment in the comment section itself. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Keep learning, keep preparing, and don't forget to share and subscribe our channel. Bye bye.